think authenticity is really the solution to so many things people face when it comes to like basic social dynamics and stuff. So you have to think about it from the perspective of verbally liberating somebody and making them comfortable. Everyone's comfortability is obviously at different paces, and sometimes there's nothing we can do about making them ready and put their feet up in conversation and just vibe, you know? Sometimes it's just an internal thing. But there are many scenarios where people have found themselves more times that they've told me about. But it's just, oh no! People have been telling me about how they just don't feel like they don't trust what's being said to them. It feels as though everyone's playing a character now, or everyone's a clone. You get your mental software update every day from social media on what to say and what to believe and what to think. You can turn into an acceptable human being. It's so weird when you think about it. In order to feel human again, I must figure out what to believe and think. So strange and weird. I sound so self-righteous and patronizing, but that's not really what I mean. I really do care about people to just feel at home for once. You know, when they're speaking to people. Even if it's somebody they don't see themselves talking to long term. Genuine nature. Authenticity, organic. Being organic is just these things. The realness is dying, man. Feels like we're talking to copy and paste clipboards a lot of the time, you know what I mean? So generic, all these rehearsed responses, and I don't know whether that's because people feel more comfortable and we all know what the appropriate response is to the rehearsed response now, or whether it's because we truly have no capacity to think anymore. It's making us lazy. Mentally, we're not developing anything unique. But the idea of authenticity, the reason it's comforting, I feel, is because you now provide somebody some kind of gateway or some kind of ability to just feel like, oh, I can truly just speak my mind and feel and say what I want to do. And for the most part, I'm not going to be completely ostracized or just completely cancelled. Because we all want to be accepted, right? Human validation is massive now. Like, you have to admit, our validation processes and our need for acknowledgement, these things are very human. I don't think that's a bad thing. At the core, they're really not bad things, but it's like, given the levels and given the degree to which it's gotten to and how little mental fortitude people have, it's gotten to a point now where we can't be alone with our thoughts. Our mind is our greatest enemy, not our greatest asset. But yeah, authenticity, what it does is it develops comfortability within a lot of people. Because they feel as though they're actually speaking to a human now. And not just following some script of conversation. Where we all have this response and we know exactly what to say and when to say it and how to say it, you know what I mean? Is it out of laziness? Is it out of acceptability? Who knows? There's a varied amount of reasons, but what I do know is it's not fulfilling. And isn't that weird to think that all of us want validation and approval in company? But even then, we truly can't be comfortable with it. With the one thing that makes us feel quote-unquote good. We don't want to feel alone, and yet the company we have makes us feel alone. And we're just doing it out of obligation of just our own mental ease, whether it's to be distracted and just not feel alone. Which I want to make very clear is another issue in itself, but they kind of go hand in hand to some degree. If you cannot be alone with your thoughts, or just be alone in general, that needs to be addressed. You need to be okay with being alone. It's actually very healthy. Not for prolonged periods of time, but to be able to be okay just with your own thoughts in mind. It's actually a massive W. It's kind of like the way I see it is pain is a chisel, and these thoughts are a chisel, and you're sculpting who you want to become mentally. You gotta use it for the right things. As well as social scenarios, like being social and chilling with people, feeling good. So important as well for your own mental stability and peace of mind and just feeling at ease and comfortable. But good company and good quality time alone, that's what you need. And that's what authenticity allows you to do. Because truly, the moment you start trying to appeal to people and you start speaking with these rehearsed responses, you actually become a part of the problem. Now, you don't actually believe other people because you know internally you're not actually saying things you mean. It's kind of like that. I can't remember what the story is called, but you know about the boy who told so many lies that after a certain point he just couldn't believe anybody anymore because he was just so dishonest. Now all of that dishonesty led him to just not trusting anyone or anything. Now apply that parallel to yourself and ask yourself, the moment I'm not being truthful or genuine or authentic or organic, can I really trust other people's words if I don't trust my own?